In this video, my buddy Kevin is going to walk you through exactly how to quote leaf removal jobs in order to be as profitable as possible. He's also going to tell you the pricing mistakes that he made early on in his business that cost him money, as well as how to communicate with customers so they understand the pricing and want to move forward with the job. And if you stick around until the end, Kevin is going to give you his secret strategy for landing jobs with customers who are more price conscious, so that way you can maximize on every single lead that comes into your business. But if you want to learn every aspect of how to start a leaf removal business and make up to $2,000 a day with it, be sure to check out the full video that I did with Kevin. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description. And if you need help keeping up with customers, sending estimates, invoices, or collecting payments all for free, then check out QuoteIQ. That'll be the second link in the comment section and description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video.
How do you price leaf cleanup jobs? And my other question was, what is the standard, for a house or residential property? And you said it was anywhere from probably about $200, right?
Well, it really depends on the property. Don't walk up to something and say $200. It might be $1,000 cleanup.
Right.
But it might be $150. It really all depends. Some people have minimums, and you'll find that, because lawn care, power washing, window cleaning, whatever, it's low barrier entry type work. So you'll have people that come in, and you're always going to have people that do it cheaper than you, but there's always going to be people that do it more expensive than you. And you just have to find what your break-even point is, figure out your profit margin, what you want to put on top of that. And then there are two major methods for bidding leads that people go off of. One is bidding it by the job, which I found is like playing Russian roulette. And I don't enjoy doing it because people say, oh, I never fail. I never bid it wrong. Here's the thing with leaves is that when you're blowing them out and how I said they fluff up, well, sometimes they've been sitting there for 2 months and it's rained and they're matted down.
Right.
And it looks like it's nothing, right? There's just barely anything there. Well, then you get to blowing on it with your blower, and all of a sudden you got 6 foot high piles in the middle of the yard, and you're going, oh man, this one's going to be a massive job right here.
Is there any way to prevent that from happening then? Like, do you go out beforehand and maybe measure how deep the leaves go, or?
No, leaves are very deceiving. I mean, you can eyeball the property, go there and stuff, but here's what I found is best for me. So there's that method. And here's one more thing about the two methods. There's people on both sides that'll tell you it's wrong one way or the other. And they'll tell you you're an idiot one way or the other. It's whatever works best for your company. For me, I really hated playing Russian roulette. I hated losing 3 jobs out of 10 on being profitable. You go out there and you're like, okay, I got to make this one. We're going to, take care of it. We're going to make some money today. You got 2 guys working with you, you're cleaning it up, and then you find out it takes 3 times longer than what you thought. And so you bid it for, $200, and it ends up being a $600 job, and you're just dying there. So the way that I did it is I always bid per man hour. So I take my break-even point, find my man hour rate, figure out what you're going to charge. For our first couple of years when I started doing it that way, I went to $60 a man hour and then $65. And I had no math behind it there. Okay. When I was doing 60 and 65, it's just, I thought that sounds right. I'm going to try bidding hourly. I'm going to pull this number out of nowhere. And it worked. I didn't make much money.
Wait, 60 and 65 was your hourly rate?
Yeah.
Just because you thought of it out of thin air?
Well, I mean, I didn't know anything about business at the time, right? I was still learning. So I just pulled it out of there. I'm like, well, people say $1 a minute. I'm going to do $60. Ultimately, I ended up charging $100 per man hour. And we were profitable for less than that. But I charged $100 per man hour because there's a couple different things that go into the man hour rate. And that's, your break-even point. But you also can factor in environmental factors like where you live. We're in an affluent area. It's a very busy service. I'm going to be busy. I know there's going to be a lot of work. So like when I worked with multiple people, I would charge $100 per man hour. And then later when I went back to being solo, I just charged $150 an hour and I still closed jobs. But I took on less work because I didn't want to work as much. So, I mean, it's really wherever you're at. If you can make the phone ring, you can charge whatever you want if you can close the job still.
And you were eyeballing this as far as the hourly rate goes. You'd say this is going to take between, 6 and 8 hours? Or are you?
That's the great thing. So I moved my business. You can go eyeball stuff, but I don't like driving across town. Tulsa's a pretty big area, right?
So you just tell people it's going to be $100 an hour per.
I tell them exactly what it is up front. I say, hey, I come out, I got this equipment. I'm going to come out, blow everything out, load it up, haul it away. It's going to be this much per hour. I've got a 2-man crew. And, the average property in your area, because it's off their address, I can tell what area of town they're in. So the average property in your area normally takes about this amount of time. But if you have a lot of leaves, it might take longer. Once I get to your property, I can give you a call and let you know if it'll take a little longer. But if you'd like to be on the schedule, I can put you on the schedule. I've got an opening for Tuesday. You want to be on there? Awesome. I thought so. So we'll get them on there. Show up Tuesday. Give them a call. Say, hey, looks great. I'm going to get going. And then if you're hesitant with hourly rates, right, you can do a cap out rate, which is kind of in the middle between bidding the job and then bidding it hourly. But still, it's like playing Russian roulette. But once you get used to it and you go, okay, I've done 20 jobs that are the same size property, I think I can figure it out. But there's a lot of factors. So, okay, well, the cap out rate is basically, you think it's a $200 job, but you're going to bid hourly. So you bid an extra $100 on there. You say, okay, I'm going to put a cap out rate of $300 on this job for you. If it takes less time, I'm going to charge you less. If it goes over than that, guess what? You're not going to have to pay any extra. I'll cap it out at $300. And that gives them a sense of security. You get to go by hourly. Maybe it's $250. Maybe you make $180 off of it, whatever. We had a $100 minimum on our job. So if we came and cleaned up a front yard, we would do $100 minimum. So it's a 1 man hour minimum. So if it took us 30 minutes with 2 guys, it's $100. But yeah, we knocked out a bunch of jobs doing it that way.
Okay, so you didn't tell them. So you would just say, hey, it's $100 a man hour. We got 2 guys,
Yeah, so I'd tell them our man hour rate, and I tell them we have a 1 hour minimum. So if we come out there, yeah, if you want to bid by the phone and you want to close it, the key is to say it with confidence, like you've done it 1,000 times, and eventually you've done it 1,000 times. You say it like you say it every day, and then you're very, very transparent and clear with them. And after a while, you'll figure out what the hangups are. And for me, it was, okay, we got these guys coming out. I don't know how much it's going to be, how long they're going to be here. They said they charge by the hour. Just let them know, hey, in this area, this is about how long properties take. So, maybe bidding by the job in the beginning is a good thing. I don't know, because we transitioned. But, I was able to tell how long things take. But still, like I said, sometimes you don't know. And here's where you get the wild card factors. With leaves, they're very deceiving. So you got moisture to contend with. You got frost in the morning. You got wind that can go in one direction. Maybe it goes in multiple directions. Maybe it, shifts throughout the day. But there's a lot of factors like that come into play. How long they've had them on the property. How many obstacles are there? Do they got a lot of trees going around the edge of the property that are ornamental? Do they got a lot of bushes, landscaping? Do they got rock beds? There's so many factors that go into play when you're bidding a job that if it has a 3-inch layer of leaves on it and you can't see really what's under it and what's, what kind of mulch bed is there? Is it going to be easy to blow over? Is it lava rock under there and it's going to be a nightmare? I might have to pick a bunch of lava rock afterwards. I don't want to do any of that. Like, I take out all the guessing game and I just say, it's this hourly rate. You want to go for it? Let's go.
Okay. As far as the cap out rate, though, did you give a cap out rate, or you didn't have
The only time I did a cap out rate is if it was, I never did a cap out rate on the phone. You don't do a cap out rate when it's blind. If you go to the property, say you have somebody that walks up and they want to do the job and you tell them an hourly rate, and for some reason they might have a hesitation. You tell them, okay, well, you can fit it in that day and it's going to be an extra $200 or something, and you don't have anything scheduled for the rest of the day. Or, if you drive 5 miles down the road and you start this next job, you don't know what you're getting into, and it might be one that you have to come back. So you kind of got to balance out when you're doing leaf cleanups. Okay, we've got this on the schedule, but we've also got this one we can fit in right here. We're right there. Let's fit it in now. Extra $200 in revenue. But you look at it and you say, okay, well, $300 cap out rate, but I think we'll finish it sooner. You know what I mean?
Just from the customer's perspective, that's the only thing. Like, if I was to get someone to come, get the leaves out of my yard, I would be like, okay, y'all charge $100 an hour. It's 2 of y'all per man hour, right? So it's $200 an hour. What if it takes 5 hours? You know what I mean? That's like $1,000.
Exactly. Yeah, and they'll have that, and that's where the cap out rate gives them some comfort.
Right. Okay, great. We won't go over 300.
Yeah, and then typically, if they've seen you work or it's a referral from a friend, a lot of
Right,
your customers in leaf business will be customers that have worked with you through the years. So they know your work ethic, how you work. They know that you're not going to be out to screw them, that you've got integrity. And then you'll get referrals, or you've been in after a few years, you'll be in the neighborhood enough that you're seen as an established business. And if you're seen as an established business and you have authority in that area, you have a little less discomfort from people with that stuff. So we never had that much backlash. We'd have maybe 2 out of 10. But like I said, when you're going through the conversation, you just lay it out and say, yep, this is the way we do it. And you say it like you've done it 1,000 times. Again, let them know, hey, we're in your area and we've done a lot of properties in that area. Right now, with how everything's going, they're typically taking about an hour or 2 hours, whatever. But and when we show up on properties, we don't take breaks or anything. So like if it's an 8-hour job, we're working 8 hours.